So before I kind of go into the topic about belonging and the topic about alignment, because I feel like this is such a very important, I feel like, space and topic, whether we are in business, whether in our physical body, if our body is misaligned, our body feels really wonky, right? And what happens to that too when our bodies feel wonky? Sometimes our minds are scattered as well. I see this very clearly, like, and remind me because I'm going back to this topic now. Before I want to speak to all of your experiences yesterday and the things that you've shared. I know a lot of you experienced peace. Some of you experience some vibration of energy in your bodies, and I want to speak about that. So just if I like move away from that topic, I really want to talk about that because that's really like a very important piece about how your energy is speaking to you. So anyway, um, the topic of belonging and alignment, I feel like is so important for us. Alignment also being just not in alignment with our soul path, in alignment in our body, like how our bodies are experiencing and how our bodies, if we are misaligned, it can really affect our thought function and also the ways we move in life physically. As you notice, if all of you have experienced misalignment in your bodies, or you're feeling off emotionally as well, that you kind of somehow move the day with feeling off. And so, in my work as a physical therapist and energy healing, like I always kind of like look at that place of misalignment so we can kind of slowly maybe find out what the wisdom is there, why it's misaligned, what's happening to the body that's causing the shift, right? So that we can slowly kind of understand, and the body naturally, just once the body is heard, once the body knows it's heard and it's seen for its misalignment, things kind of it's so funny because sometimes I'm just holding space for the body to just do its work and it starts aligning. What happens also when it's chronic, or the body is misaligned, or the thought process or the belief system, the structures, or like the what your soul believes and what you're doing in your life is misaligned, right? It's not connected. It shows in the body as well. And what happens is um, there's this tug of war between what the body is experiencing, what's manifesting in the body and in the external environment, than what the soul wants wants of you, right? What the soul, this whole energy, wants of you. So there's this push pull that's happening in the body that can um, show up as misalignment, right? So sometimes people think it's just a physical misalignment, but it's so much deeper than that. When I uncover the layers in the body, and people show up, let's say, of low back pain or misaligned pelvis, or just you'll see some kind of leg length discrepancy in the body. It's not just purely physical. This is the funny part. It's never just purely physical. The body just responds to how we feel. The body responds to our thoughts. The body responds. It's just this. It loves us so much. It wants to just like mold itself to how we think and feel. And so it's so important. And when we keep feeling and thinking, or that way, the body just contorts in that. And this is what I've seen, like so much. And sometimes just addressing the physical symptom of it gives the body a temporary relief of the symptom, but it doesn't address the root cause. It does not at all. So the pain, the misalignment still happens over and over again till she's heard, till the soul, this energy is heard, and she speaks, and someone says, okay, I got you. I got you. I got why I'm contorting this way. So it's so funny, like like when in physical therapy, we have these techniques, right, that we've learned over the many years of studying. Like in my case, like I've been practicing since 2009. Well, no, sorry. I've had my practice since 2009. I've been practicing since 2001. So I've learned all of these techniques from school, but also like all this continuing education and trainings that I've done in the last 20 years. But what I've noticed is, even if I've had patients come and you correct the alignment, they come in again with the same thing, and it's such a limited way of looking at the body, right? And so what I've done is, like, when I start tuning in and listening to what she's talking, because she can talk a lot, then you'll see the emotional component of it. Then you'll see the history of the body, not just the lifetime point history at this moment, the history of when it's in the womb, the history of the past, all the transpersonal experiences. I call them all transpersonal experiences of the being in this body. So it is really incredible how the body holds everything, not just what we believe, what we think, but all these experiences that we have all experienced, felt, what we've chosen, whether consciously or unconsciously, even in the womb, even before, that are here in this container for us to free her, for us to find peace or resolution or answers or liberation, right? It's all innately found here. And over the many years, as I've been speaking and connecting and holding different bodies and touching different bodies and having her speak so much, like I've gathered all these tools, and also I've unpacked more of my conditioning and the ways I have learned to connect with her, because there's just no one way. There's no one way. And the truest way is just her guiding you. So that's why I always say, like, she is my guide, like your body is my guide. Like, in the vastness of my experiences, I still don't know all the answers, but I will know once you tell me. Once she speaks from the inside. And this is the power of really, like, surrendering and letting go to the wisdom. Now, I'm talking about, so I'm supposed to talk about belonging and alignment, but I think a lot of these will make sense as I start speaking and speaking. So if it doesn't make sense, please let me know. So I don't want to be rambling in something that really is so important. I mean, this is my passion, because of our pain, or the ways we feel as a being not belonged, right, in our bodies, because with the pain, sometimes we disassociate from our bodies, right? And I've spoken to this on the first day. From pain, or trauma, we hide with it, and this energy inside of us, right? And everybody has a very different kind of energy. It starts shrinking. Mine, what I've learned in my own healing experience, my energy, my energetic being went up my crown chakra, out to the ethers, because of all the pain I experienced and all the shame I experienced about my own psychic gifts and abilities as a child, because I was, very ridiculed and rejected for this as a young kid. And as a young kid, like, you're so open and porous, and you start really, like, feeling so alone. And so I started, I literally left my body. I became so numb, so I didn't really feel myself, and I started belonging so much more with a lot of my guides and a lot of these beings that I normally see. So, but it was still running away, right? I kind of, like, shot my energy out there and lived so much in the magical realms to feel home, That was home to me. But the experience that we have here as humans is to really come home in the body, because running away up there was my way of like not fully being in my body, not fully being seen as me, not fully experiencing the pain in its full expression, because I didn't want to experience the pain of rejection and um, the pain of being in the body, so that to be seen in that way. So I had to belong in another realm, which was also running away, which is not really great. I'm here now. It took me so many years. Oh my God, so long. To really know that I was so disembodied. So disembodied. And it's so hard as spiritual beings, whatever pain experience you have, to really fully land and inhabit and descend in the body, because we see pain everywhere. We experience pain in our own personal life, and we also experience pain by seeing what's happening in the collective. It's hard. It is hard. But being in the body is the way we can free ourselves. And so when I bring the topic about belonging, is to kind of like feel in ourselves how we can belong again to experiencing our own pain again. How can we belong to live back in our bodies, right? That's the first thing. And also yesterday with all of you, everybody had different experiences. Some of you experience, a lot of you experience peace, and usually so every holy energy or everybody speaks differently. Some of in my experience with people who I work with, I have their energy yap a whole lot, talk a whole lot, and sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like hold on a second, like what is the main theme here? And some like really want to just like, it's very quiet, and some like is very erratic, some very wild. And it's, to me, it's just fun getting to know your own being. But just to go back, I want to circle back to the experience of some of you who experience peace, right? Some of you experience like vibration in your fingers and in your feet. I don't know who else experienced something else, but those were like the common ones that I remembered. And so what that means, and sometimes what we always experience, is what we really need to kind of like come into contact with in ourselves, right? So when we experience peace, it's like our bodies, right, is the mind or our bodies not in sync, where we are experiencing some sort of inner conflict or internal chaos, right? That the body, when you receive her, she's like desiring or coming to speak as a settling, right? A feeling of peace, a feeling of like tranquility or silence inside of your body. That could be like an invitation from her to come into peace within, right? And I obviously didn't tune in specifically to each one or read each one of you, but just read the comments that you've shared yesterday. But usually when you feel like a sense of peace, a sense of like silence or tranquility in your body, a settledness, right? That could also be your desire, the energy desiring that and bringing that in your body, so that you can experience that peace, so that you can create that peace inside of you, right? So when she leads and when she speaks, that is because she also wants to support you and love you and nourish you the way you need, right? And so someone who was experiencing some vibration and in their extremities, right, in their extremities, hand and feet. And again, I did not use any of my skills to read or tune into any of you guys. So this is just general conversation of what I normally do what normally happens when I see these kind of comments, right? This is not personal for any of you who have experienced this yesterday. But when you've experienced that, it usually could mean that you're you have a lot of movement in your hands. You're using your hands and your feet to ground. You're using your hands a lot to heal or like to be with the earth, um, to cook or to like tend to the earth or like do some healing modality. Or it could also be uh, a distribution of energy that's not full. There's some energy blocks in the body that's causing the distribution to not be parallel on both sides or around the body. If it's just only experienced on the hands and on the feet, so there could be some blockage somewhere else. But again, this is not specific to anybody who experienced yesterday. This is just the general thing. It's definitely going to be different when it's uniquely yours, and I tap into your energy field and what the energy completely says, what it's coming from, what the root is. But this is just the general consensus of from my past experience with working with the body, what usually happens, right? Um so it's really what happens in that kind of conversation is like, how can we come into alignment? Is there a misalignment inside? Is something blocked inside of you where the energy is not moving well? And also, is there magic that wants to come through from you that wants to be expressed fully through this vibrating energy, right? Is there more magic that wants to move out of your fingers and your hands so that you can root deeper, or that you can move the energy outside of your hands onto others, right? Or onto what you want to create. So there's so many different layers and ways the body can express. And so yeah, anyway, any questions so far while I ramble? um, um, let's see. I get really excited when I work with the body, because even if I have worked with, oh my god, 20 something thousand bodies, live, like felt live and online, there I am discovering there is I cannot nail anything concretely, and I'm discovering more and more beautiful ways of the body's way communicating. So there's never like a one way. I'm like always so hyped and so um, in love with the way, like how unique and gifted we are, and how many different voices we have, right? There's no one same voice, no one same blueprint of energy. We have our own unique blueprint as a human, as a divine human, and as a healer. And I haven't seen two similar. I mean, maybe there are general ways, like I've mentioned, but they're not one equal. There's not. It's not the same, and it's just so interesting for me, and it's really shows how no matter if I even see this as plainly as physical therapy, right? Two people with the same knee injuries, right, don't heal the same way, cannot be treated the same way, because like I've mentioned before, lifestyle, environment the person is in, what kind of work they're in, how they're feeding the bodies, how their body heals, are they working out, are they not, it's just even just that alone, right? Now uncover more of not the belief system or emotional stuff that's lodged in the knee, but how about like from the womb, how about like lifetimes before, like what is there, what's in there? So it's just there's so much, there's just so that's why there's so much to be decoded in the body, and we are given this entire lifetime to actually free her, right? Free her. And what I want to speak about also today is as I contemplate, right, on my own path, and what I've stepped into right now, which really started landing so much fuller as soon as I got up on stage. If you haven't watched my talk yet, at the um, Women's Speak Festival, International Women's Speak Festival in Sedona, over like hundreds of women out there, was like really. Now I started like thinking more of like what is my holy energy, what is my soul desire in this life, right? Like how can I come into alignment so that my body responds to the alignment from inside, from my heart, right? From my being. And I feel like from hiding all of myself and like coming into physical therapy so that I can really feel the body and work and support humans kind of heal, not only physically, but all different ways, multidimensionally, right? Like I really wanted more. I wanted to do more. I wanted to serve more. I wanted to support um, people more and really awakening like this dharma, right? The dharma inside of you, right? This like our duty for our bodies, our duties for our soul, like our duties for the earth, whatever that looks like. You know, everybody has their own different like dharma, but like it started sinking into me about like what do I want to walk? How do I want to walk here on this earth, right? How do I want to live my life? What legacy am I leaving here? Um, how do I want to be in service to my body? Because how free I am in my path is how my body becomes free too. How I allow myself to open up and be vulnerable and feel all the things, including pain, especially pain and pleasure, is how I allow my body to be free. And all the things I consume, right, can influence my body in a healthier or not healthier way. And there's really no right or wrong, right? Like this is just our own path. But so like the clarity, like I started to like really envision and ask this holy energy inside me, ask my body, and like how do I want to carve a path that is in deep alignment to my soul, and like remembering really my sacred conduct, remembering having Gaia support me, and remembering what I came here for. Because we came in here in this lifetime, I feel, especially in this time right now when everything is chaotic, but there's a ton of light coming through. There is massive amount of light coming through to wake us up, because humanity has been in asleep for thousands of years. And the invitation here is, as humans asleep, and I'm going to speak to one of my guides speaking to this, we're gonna meet resistance because we have gone through the same runaround kind of wheel for so long. And so we meet a bunch of light, or we meet this upheaval that is inviting us to wake us up, we're gonna meet resistance, personally, collectively. That's just how it is, because we're being called to wake up. We're being called to come into deep alignment with what our soul came here for, to free how our bodies can be designed to really support us, to heal us, support our soul to heal us, support humanity to heal us, right? And because of the influx of light, because we're literally waking up, right? Like all of us, whether we are healers on the change, spiritual leaders on the change, way showers on the change, or the ones who are just still doing the 9 to 5, their lives are being broken open so that they can change. But they don't realize it, but it's being broken open to bring more light so that the darkness can come out, to be met. And our own internal darkness, our own internal pain, the mystery inside of our bodies are being called to, are we invited deep into the mystery of our beings. deep into the mystery of our bodies, so much more. And what I know to be true in my own experience and in my own diving and the mystery inside of myself and the mystery I see with every single human being that I've been working in, the more you find courage to allow yourself to dive into the mystery of the vastness in your being, the unknown outside there will not be as scary as it is. Because your own being is just a microscopic reflection of what's happening in the collective. So meeting your pain, your energy, what the energy is speaking of you, any kind of like darkness, the mystery, the unknown inside of you gives you a glimpse of how you can move with what's happening in the collective. The way you move with every single aspect inside of your body will help shape the way you move with whatever you meet, whatever thing you meet inside of you. Because you start, once you meet pieces of yourself, once you're allowing your holy energy to lead you, you start bringing in pieces of yourself to bring you back free, bring you back whole. And so when we talk about the belonging, right? How can we first belong to our bodies? How can we come home for me, from the crown? For some people, I see constriction in their energy, right? Their energy field is just like their holy energy is really tiny, constricted as a ball. Some of them are like just like erratic, right? And it looks like this, and some of them are really seeds. So from that place, and for me, I literally shoot out of the crown. It's so funny. It was really hard for me to land. I couldn't feel my feet. I could not feel my feet for the longest time. I couldn't even feel my pelvis. I had toe rings so I can feel my toes on the earth. I had to put toe rings because I could not feel. My energetic being could not land on my toes. It's so crazy. It's insane. So I had to, in the winter times, I had to walk on ice so that I could bring sensation on my feet, because I was so disconnected and my energy was so out there. It took me some time to like feel really safe to land in my body, come down and feel safe. And I'm still working on it. It's still like a process. But I don't need my toe rings anymore. I don't need to like go in intense 0 degrees weather to feel my body. But it's so funny, right? Like, how can we start belonging and choosing, right? Because when we choose to belong in our bodies, that means we choose to experience life. We choose to experience life again. We choose to experience pain again. We choose to experience pleasure and love. And sometimes for all of us who have felt pain, like I have, love and pleasure was hard for me to experience because I didn't feel worthy of that. I didn't feel like I could belong in the place of love because I belonged so much in my own suffering, right? So to meet that, right? That was my practice too. And so like for our spirit, for our soul to merge and allow our energy to really speak. So yes, Shara, yeah, it's so, my God, so common. Thank you for sharing that. And for us to really like just say, I belong here in my body, in all of me, on this earth. The earth holds me and the earth supports me. This could be even a mantra that you could say, like, the earth holds me and supports me. I belong. This body of mine is mine. This is body of mine. I hated this body because I was short. I wanted to be a tall woman. I'm 5 feet. And I just didn't, all the things. And just to belong inside of ourselves, right? That would be the first task. And then the next, to belong to the experience of the feelings of pain, right? And all of the experiences that if we can welcome all of this, because these are part of our own unique human experience, and these experiences that we have encountered in our life, if we belong to all of them, that we can actually choose to help them shape us. And then when we're ready, these experiences will just disintegrate on its own. Once we fully heal it, once we fully own of it, once we receive it as healing insight. But until we meet that, until we don't belong to all these experiences, to pain as well, then it still cycles up and it's going to manifest in the body. And I see it all the time. It will never leave. So the next thing that I also want to invite is like, how can we come into, once, come into alignment with our bodies, coming to belonging with our bodies, coming into belonging with our energy inside of us, having her energy speak to us, having belonged in this energetic being inside of us, having her move us. How can we belong also to our purpose? Like, what is it that we desire? What is the vision? Can we come into alignment with our dharma, and like really asking ourselves how? Because this affects the contortion that's happening in the body, right? And so my work is really inviting, and if you get stuck, or you're stuck, or you don't even know what your dharma is or know what your path is, that's really fine, because we can let her speak. It can also start with the things that you enjoy and love. What do you love? Like, what do you love to do, and what inspires you, right? Or what is the vision that you see in the world? I posted some like inquiry here on the Facebook page that you could actually like also kind of journal a little bit, but like, what is the vision of the world that you want to see? That could also come from that, right? If you can come into alignment with that, because we all come in with a path that's unique for us. And sometimes until we kind of, and we don't sometimes know the entire path, right? We don't need to know the entire path anyway. We just need to know what is the burning desire, or what is the vision, where is the energy moving us? Because if it moves us and we say no, you constrict it, and it starts constricting inside of us. It starts closing up again, and it will start to close up a part of your body. It will start to shrink and affect a part of your body. Again, I see this all the time because I've worked with so many different bodies. So my work is like, how can I bring her up? How can I have her speak? How can we have her feel the safety so that she can express to me what she really wants and what she craves for? And you can also ask that question, right, within yourself. And because the more we work on unraveling her, and also like coming into union with what is in deep alignment with our hearts, our soul, our wombs, right? The mind, and we can invite the mind to trust that, because we all have been operating for so long from the mind space. Now, when we're feeling this energy inside of us, it's not going to be from the mind. The mind is so limited to all the things we have learned, to all the belief systems we have created. But when we're talking about the feminine current, this is a whole different ballgame. We need to invite the mind to trust her. We need to invite the mental aspect of our bodies to just like support how the feminine current leads us, how this holy energy leads us. And the big aspect about this, and without fail at all, I know this as a fact in my own work in my life, and with every single client I work with, this feminine current is deeply supported by Gaia, and she will weave everything to support you so that you can come into deep alignment with what you are here for. And the guiding force and all the ways that will show up just to have you fulfilled, just to have you nourished, just to have you light up from the inside out, led from her, is unparalleled. Like, magic happens. It's because as energy, this is how it works. The mind, it's not on paper, it's not how you do a 1 to 5. The energy works to support you once you let her rise, right? So the universe, Gaia, Mother Earth, and Source, right, comes into cahoots to support the fire, to support her current rising. And the great thing about this conscious awakening of this energy is that when you're led by her like this, there comes into congruence with a deeper purpose that is really of service to the earth, of service to your own body, of service to your community, but really of service to the earth. Because when you lead with this conscious awakening of this fire inside of you, you can't not also lead from love, right? Lead from the heart, lead from the soul, lead from the essence of who you are, lead from your multidimensional power. And there is deep power that rises here. And from here, once we wake her up, once you start unpacking layer by layer by layer, and this is true for myself and with every single client I work with, every single one, I have not had one client who has not their gifts unfold like in the multidimensional realm, talking about like really being able to access different realms and being able to access your body energetically and expand in different consciousness, but also clear your channel to be able to access the divinity inside of you and be able to access Gaia and realms clearly. Because when you start healing yourself, you start when you start healing yourself, you start coming into congruence and alignment with your soul. Everything else starts falling off. You start really being clear, like a crystal clear channel for the divine. You start being such a flow. You flow like water, right? Like it starts flowing like water in your body. And it's just, it's, and then ease starts to happen in your life. So this is really like this is my own dharma, to really support Gaia, right? In her medicine to hold us all, right? And support every single body, every single human body, and every single soul in the body to really unleash their own power, awaken, and really be in service back to love, to the reminder of who we are here, to heal generational trauma, to end the suffering in our bodies, like within our bodies, that we actually are the gateways, that we are the ancestors our children want to have. Like I would love that for my child. I would love that to be the ancestor that heals my own self, so that I can be of service to Gaia and to the collective. And this is where, the invitation of like, how can we be in alignment with the heart? How can we be alignment? What is the legacy that you're here to do? I want to also share what's so funny. When I did a launch like a year and a half ago. That was this same kind of thing. And most of the intention of that launch was really all about I love you, Rose, thank you. Most of this launch that I had was like helping people really connect with like because I work with star beings, I work with little people, I work with a lot of different elementals, I work with like all the beings that I've kind of disconnected from my body too, and I went kind of like partnered with them. But in my work, in my body, like the work was not there, the work is here. I am human, I have to live in this freaking body of mine and love my body and love every experience I have, as painful as some of them were. So I remembered in my launch in the mystery school a year and a half ago, it was all about like having people connecting those realms, really, like, and people, oh my god, they connected with all different ancestors, they connected with different guides, and blah, 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 blah. It was like a whole big shit show, like, of magic that happened, like, for everybody to experience, like, They met different goddesses, they met different ancestors, they met different like beings. It was just like it was yeah, magical. But you know what? My work shifted a little bit, right? Because it's like, okay, fine, they are there, the access is there, and everyone has that's available for every single one. It's not just for me or those people, but and I can always help you to connect with your ancestors, help you connect with other beings that support you, help you connect with the angels that support you, or all spirit guides. That's just easy for me. But the work is in the body. The work is to free ourselves. It's not to go out. It's not to like connect with them. They're just there to support us. The work is here. The work is to liberate us, liberate our pain, find our dharma, connect with our alignment, connect our bodies, get our bodies aligned so that our bodies and soul and spirit aligns with our heart and aligns with our path here on earth, so that we can remember why we're here. It's not so the you know, it's so funny. It was like it was great because everybody experienced what my life was. And my devotion right now is to have everybody like come home here in the body, descend, not ascend, fully descend, so that we can feel everything, so that we can receive the pain and embrace it as healing insight, so that we can uncover our gifts so much more, so that we can be a clear channel for the divine, so that we can actually really so fully surrender and trust Gaia to lead us and unshackle every part of anything that binds us in our soul and our spirit, so that we can free our ancestors and free the children that come before us and free the earth. Because when we heal ourselves and come into the because even in trauma, actually we are still whole. We are still whole. Nothing changes us from being whole. We just feel separate because of our wounding. So we feel separate from our divinity, but we are still whole even in pain. So oh my god, like I circled, I was gonna explain that, and then where was I? So I don't remember that my thought. I just changed what I was gonna say, talking about like wholeness, and then now so yeah, so when we really find the courage to dive into the mystery of our being, because there is so much unpack that we can pack in the womb and in our bodies. We can dive into the ways we can lean into love and lean also into pain, and discover what these both aspects of polarities can teach us. We really, it's like inevitable that the multidimensionality of who we are is just gonna show up. That's just how it is. I mean, not how it is, but that's just my own experience and the experience I've seen with my clients and all my patients. And like, you know, like surrendering to the magic inside of us, surrendering to shifting our perception that the void, right? That the void, the mystery, that the current inside of us, the wildness of the feminine current inside of us, the wildness of the creative force inside of us is bad. Shifting the perception that it's bad, that it's scary. It's not. It's the way of the mother, the churning of the ocean, right? The creation churns, and it's mysterious in how it creates. Same thing as our creation in our own internal life. Sometimes it's we know the whole thing. We just churn and churn and churn and keep going with the energy. And so as you see, I'm so fired up because this is I would love to see all of us create from the medicine of the mystery inside of us, from the medicine of every single aspect in our life that teaches us something about humanity, the pain, the pleasure, the trauma, the gift. It all teaches us about humanity, because we're here as a human race to live this experience on Earth school, to to experience life in its totality, which means every form of experience and every form and aspect of life is sacred. Every aspect of our body is sacred. Every experience our body is experiencing is sacred. It is as holy as the earth that we walk upon. And I'm here for all of that. I'm here to really support women experience the sanctity of their being, the reverence in their body, the reverence of this holy energy to be unleashed and be led and partner with Gaia, so that we can create a life that is in deep fulfillment for the aspect of the soul that brings us deep nourishment, not only just physically, right, but the nourishment for the soul essence, right, from the depths of our being, and bringing us abundance. Like, this is just like an innate birthright for us. The freedom is our birthright, and we come home back to that once we free ourselves, once we choose to unbind ourselves in all aspects that bind us, because freedom is an inherent aspect of being human. We just have over time started the armoring and conditioning and all the things. So to come whole is to unbind, to come whole is to remember abundance is our birthright. And this is the path of what I'm doing with every single client of mine, with every single woman that comes into my mentorship. And this is really my devotion, because it's not just about the money. It's not just about the material. It's not about just the physical body. This is about like the essence of life itself, the life-giving essence of life. This is about our own holy energy. This is about like the life we're gonna leave behind. This is about the legacy that we are here for. So this is not just about money. This is really about why we're here, who we are, and how we can remember all of that. Because that, like, money's gonna come. That energetic field of deep fulfillment and devotion and love that comes from the remembrance of our legacy and who we are and our stamp on the earth, just there is a deep it just comes. Everything follows after that. Everything follows when we are in deep congruence with that, when we merge with the void, when we merge with the legacy mark that we're here for, with our dharma. The body aligns itself. You will see it in the body, literally. And you will see, oh my god, you'll see my clients literally making $40,000, actually $60,000. I had a client who just made $60,000 in literally a week, just by opening and clearing the channel in the rooted way, from the depths, not just in the superficial symptom, not just the pain, not numbing the pain. No, we meet the pain. We bring the pain close to our heart. We embrace the pain as our teacher. We don't just numb and treat the symptom. We bring it back to life. So life speaks to us as pain. And so when she speaks as pain, we listen deeply and we unpack and we can clear our channel. There's just so much. There's so much that can happen, so much that can change. I've had clients who experienced literally the rising of Shakti inside of them, and they are tantric teachers who have not experienced the totality yet of their practices, but literally after a session or two, actually it was a session, experienced so much of this holy energy rising them that their practice so literally changed in just a session, and their experience with their husband literally changed, the relationship changes this and that. So there is deep power in the embracing and the healing of this in the totality and the multidimensional aspect of this, right? So it's not to be, and it's also not for the faint of heart, right? Because it's like, that means when we come into this container, or when you work with me, or we come into this paradigm of looking at everything, right? or coming into alignment, that means everything that is not in alignment needs to be looked at, right? Everything that is not in alignment needs to be looked at with love, right? With love. That means also everything that we've numbed from, we need to kind of like look at again. And sometimes that's hard. That's hard for a lot of us. But this is the way of the warrior. This is the way that we're called. This is the path that we're that probably not all of us are going to go through. So it's totally fine. Because some of us are not really here for that, right? We're just here to just be and also like be part of the collective's grievance. That's totally fine too. Like there's no right or wrong path really. It really depends on where you are and what you're called and what your energy is. Your alignment. And yeah. What else? Yeah, so I'm in a mission to wake us up, to wake up those who are willing, to help free the body in all ways that she can, and opening and supporting you unravel your multidimensional healing abilities, because it's there. We all have it. Absolutely 110%. There's not one client that I've had that didn't unleash any more of that. And I'm here to support Gaia, to free her to, well, she doesn't really need freeing because she is nature. When she's done with that, she's gonna create some massive tornado to just annihilate all of us. She's not gonna do that. So I can't, I mean, that's, yeah. But so that's kind of like where that's my heart. And that's what I invite you all to like feel into, right? How can we be in congruence with our body and our spirit and our energy? What's our legacy? Like, what is our soul desiring for us? What is the vision that we see within ourselves? Do you see or hear her speak? Do you hear or see visually? It's actually, I hear, it's, so for me, I hear, I see, I feel, I mean, like all my clairs are pretty open. So it's all of that. And sometimes my guides have a conversation with them. So it's like really hilarious. Sometimes I'm also like a trance medium. So sometimes like I literally get out of the way and they speak through my body. And yeah, it's really, it's kind of like very, very different for each one, but I definitely feel them, I definitely hear them, I definitely see them. Sometimes I smell a little bit of how she's like. It's a crazy, that's pretty wild when they're really strong. And they have her on fire pretty much. She gives a lot of this like incredible different fragrance, which is really beautiful. And then she really has a story. She really has a story. She has a ton to speak. And it's so funny because because we've been in a society where like we don't allow the body to speak a lot because we've like, when we experience pain or symptoms, we numb or we take medication, which is totally fine. Like that's what we've been trained. So my work is not to help you literally unpack that. Not to say that medications are wrong. It's just like we can listen to her as well, right? And find ways for her to speak. So I mean, most and almost all of my clients have repressed holy energy because they haven't spoken for so long, so they can really talk. Oh my god, they can talk. Sometimes they literally talk. Sometimes they just like really they can whisper. Sometimes they can really just show me visions about what's really happening in the body. And it's very, very unique. I really can't have one. Again, like I don't really work in boxes, so to me all of these things I don't really like. I'm literally working in the void all the time. So when someone comes to me, like it's a blank slate. I don't have an idea, I don't have an agenda what's coming through. what's coming, what the person is coming for. I know that they want to heal. I know that they want to find their sovereign wisdom. I know that they want to be in deep alignment with their path. They want to be in their dharma. They really want to create a legacy in their life, and they feel stuck, right? They feel like they can't. There's so many things happening, they feel stuck, but you can feel their power. The power is palpable. I can feel it in their body. So to me, I'm like, yes, let's bring her out. Let's have her lead, because she's powerful. She's powerful inside of us. And like when I feel her, coming, I'm like, let's dance. Like to me, that's just I love her so much. Like I love her in people's body. So she's my guide. I don't have a preconceived idea of what can happen with every single one I work with. So there's really no, I don't have a cheat sheet for that. Like she just tells me stuff, and that's how we work every single time. And then, yeah, I don't really have anything. Um, yeah, it is cool. It is so cool because like I am really serving you in your body. I'm really answering and responding to what your body is telling me, to what how she is. So you are really my guide. Your body is my guide. And what happens beautifully when she's heard, she starts relaxing and surrendering. She starts like, who I can see it, and the body starts like unpacking like that. It's quick. It's so quick. It's so quick. And that's why, I mean, it's so quick. And that's why I'm able to work with a lot of people who have conditions chronic conditions, because the body speaks. Like no one listens to the body. Like we've just like given the body so many things to so many things, and sometimes some of these medications numb even more the intelligence in the body, right? So what happens is, for me it's easy. I just let the body speak to me. That's simple. Simple. And to me, the requirement though is that you have to be willing to do the work, because with patterns, like especially with chronic, with patterns, if you don't, that's why I hold this as a 6-month container. With patterns, the pattern can come again, because you're used to a certain pattern. So we need to kind of like really hold the container and hold the medicine tight, so that you can actually have new neural pathways for the body to respond to a new way of being. That's why I do it this way. And that's why, like, especially for chronic conditions, I invite them to really be ready for the work, because I'm going to help you unpack, and we're going to be unpacking a whole lot of stuff. This is not just life. This is not just your life. It could be a lot of the people who have come with chronic conditions have lifetimes of ancestral wounding in their bodies. So it's really, but I'm committed. I'm committed to this work because I'm so in love with this work. I'm so in love with the human body. So I desire to free you as I have freed myself. I'm not fully free. I mean, I'm sure there's so much more, but I've come to a place of really needing this and mastering speaking to this energy in the last 20 years. So it's me. It's like it's I can close my I that's why with people, it's so funny, with people that I work like online, I would rather, this is like one of my things that probably people don't want to hear, but I had a client come in my retreat right now, last couple of weeks, and I worked with their son, and I would rather not see anybody at first, because when they start speaking, I hear something, I hear them speak, but I also hear their energy speaking too. It's two different things. I'm like, tell me later, we'll talk. Let me first listen to her. Let her speak, because like you can tell me everything, but I want her to speak right now, because your body wants to speak, and I can't hear two things talking, two beings talking at the same time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love our guides and how they speak with me. Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm so happy that you're booking a call. I can't wait to connect with you. Yeah, it is a fun journey, because it's really like a deep, deep awakening, a deep dive to the mystery of your being. It's really a glorious awakening, and I have to say it's just it's it's medicine for me. I love it so much. I love it so much. So you're in good hands. It is safe to fully surrender, and your body will feel it, and you'll feel it. You'll literally feel it. I mean, like, again, there needs to be enough safety, but you know, your energy will respond to that, and you can trust your energy in responding to respond to like how this work is going to be. So it's up to you. So, but I'm so happy that you all have joined me. I'm so happy that you asked all these questions. So good. I love it. Keep asking because I love talking about this. um, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Because I am so devoted. I am so devoted to this path, and I'm so devoted for Gaia. I mean, like, this is like my life. And I would love for you to experience, I really would love for you to experience what it means to have deep congruence and alignment with your whole being, like working together, like with your holy energy, working with Gaia. It's just a very different energy. Um, and so yeah, if you resonate with any of this, that is your yes to the call, and then we can explore all the things, all the magic, because there's magic included. Not just inner work, not just work. And I'm here for you if you're ever interested to deepen it, because I know that you have the gifts. I would love to support you if this is something that you would love to explore and inch in and deepen. I've been like thinking about, like, I like today was one of the most fun days for me because, and again, like, if you think of any questions that you have about your own holy energy or about your guides, because the thing about this and the play that happens when you work with her is that um, you can get to know actually how she moves, how she swirls, how she connects. There's just, it is interesting. And how also once we do this, once you do this, you can actually, we deepen it through the work that we do as well. I also help you support even deeper to connect with some of your guys, because some of you, I know that some of us really need a little bit of that. So in the container, just so you know, in the mentorship, there's, sky is not the limit into like what the access could be, because energetically, once you open up to the void, everything is very accessible. Very everything is accessible. Everything. So I have seen lifetimes of trauma in just one body that can be healed, and again, that changes the matrix of your energetic being. So the way you radiate to the world changes, right? The way you bring in abundance, the way you bring in whether it's relationship or anything in your container, changes, because once you heal the trauma or the pain point in the body, that, for instance, let's say it's chronic or it's ancestral, that literally changes, because you can choose to change that, and you can choose to break that and end the trauma. And from your being, it totally changes your own line. It changes your ancestral line moving forward, and your life totally changes. It's you could totally, that's how, oh my god, that's how I've done my own life with, my relationship, in my personal life, and also in my businesses, and how actually I have made money and wealth as well, because I always have been able to. um but and this is kind of like one of the medicine of it. And I'm still unpacking a lot of my own wounding, but it's so it is a journey. So I'm excited to be a part of that with you all. I mean, this is why the medical community is like, get her out of What do you mean it's so easy? I've had doctors tell me like, how do you do it? How do you do it? I'm like, it's easy, just talk to the body. And this is like, I remember I was working with the top doctors in New York, like Cornell and NYU, and we've had dinners, and they send me all these patients. They're like really complicated. I've worked with a lot of like politicians and like actors and actresses and even some royalty, like come to my place just because they have had chronic conditions. And I'm like, unless you're ready to heal your wound, we can't even have a conversation because like I'm seeing already what's coming up in their bodies. And I've had conversations with doctors like, how do you do it? And I like try to describe it to them. They're like, I don't get it. I know. And that's why I've been hiding it for so long. That's why I felt like it felt so foreign to me, because it was easy for me and so hard for people to understand, so hard for me to explain back then. But, that's kind of my work. That's where my magic comes from. um, so, anyway, I'm sending you all so much love. This was so fun. I'm so happy that you joined today on Saturday and woke up early and stayed here in this vortex with me. So happy, so happy. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions. I would love for you guys who feel like really inclined to get on a call to chat to connect with me, and then we can explore all of these ways that I can nourish and support you in like leaving a legacy from within to this earth. All right, loves. Thank you so much. It was great.